Buffalo, New York. This city in the westernmost part of the state, the Queen City, is home to 300,000 residents, 50,000 commuting workers, and, would you believe, a pair of peregrine falcons, birds of prey known for spectacular dives of over 200 miles an hour.
Well, we've got peregrine falcons living in Buffalo, New York. They've been nesting here since approximately 1995. At first, they nested on the City Hall building, and since then, they've moved to the Statler Towers building. Every year, they come back and they raise a nest full of chicks.
Patty Nelson and Mark Candell are involved in the effort to restore peregrine falcons to New York. In the early 1960s, peregrines had been threatened due to reproductive problems caused by chemical pesticides like DDT. But because of restoration efforts, today there are peregrines nesting statewide in widespread and often unlikely locations.
They nest on cliff sites. They like to be up high. But since the restoration of peregrines, they've sort of taken to the urban settings. And the general consensus is the tall buildings and streets lined with tall buildings somewhat mimic a canyon-type setting. And a lot of these older type Gothic constructions have a lot of fancy edifices and ledges that simulate cliff sites.
The simulated cliff site for this pair is a curve-shaped window well on the 17th floor of the Statler Towers. We're getting this view of a very watchful mama bird and her 5 chicks from behind a one-way mirror in the building's boiler room. In a few weeks, the chicks will be fully fledged and flying on their own. But before they leave the nest, biologists will ban the chicks in order to learn more about their habits.
And this is so we can track the survival of the birds and their movements. If they show up nesting in another city or another location, we can tell from the bands if somebody's lucky enough to be able to get close enough to read them.
Look at that!
For now, anyone with access to the internet can get a bird's eye view from a camera positioned just over the nest. Monitors in the lobby of the Statler building display the webcam image so folks who work in the building can follow the peregrines and their progeny.
Even though they're back every year, it's still pretty interesting every year. You still get amazed by it.
Our website and our webcam has been very beneficial because it helps us reach people who won't necessarily know about urban wildlife. A lot of times when you live in a city, you think that the only wildlife there may be pigeons or rock doves. However, we've got a lot going on in cities, and they're just getting a new appreciation for a bird of prey that you don't get to see every day.
Public interest in the peregrine falcon may have helped increase the bird's population statewide. There are now 50 pairs of breeding peregrine falcons found across New York. Ideally, offspring from this nest in Buffalo will go forth and multiply.
That would be the ultimate accomplishment, that these birds have matured to the point where they're contributing to the population in another area.